Greetings, everybody. Welcome back to Weekly Wildlife Wisdom, and it is Shark Week. So, this week we're going to be covering 7 cartilaginous fish. Apologies if I stumble over my words a bit. It's storming pretty heavily, so I'm getting kind of distracted by the lightning and thunder outside. I also have double ear infections, and I haven't slept. Anyway, without further ado, let's get into it. The first animal of the week being Simonosus pacificus, better known as the Pacific sleeper shark. It is a species of very large shark in the family Salmasiidae, the sleeper sharks. It is found in the Pacific Ocean, as per its scientific and common names, and it was once thought to be restricted to the northern hemisphere, but has subsequently been proven to be present in the southern hemisphere. Whilst occasionally seen at or near the surface, the Pacific sleeper shark is a true deep sea giant, being frequently found some 1,300 or 400 meters down to upwards of 6,600 or 2,000 meters deep. Pacific sleeper sharks are thought to be primarily scavengers. However, they can glide through the water with little to no body movement and little hydrodynamic noise, making them successful stealth predators. They feed by means of suction and cutting of their prey, utilizing their large mouth and sharp teeth and a characteristic rolling motion of the head when feeding to reduce the meal into more manageable chunks. The diet of the Pacific sleeper shark seems to broaden as they increase in size, with them being known to feed upon various fish, nautilus, cuttlefish, shrimps, crabs, lobsters, marine snails, octopus, seals, sea lions, harbor porpoises, and even some whales and giant squid. Pacific sleeper sharks are themselves preyed upon by giant squid, killer whales, and sperm whales. Reaching 700 to 1,958 pounds, or 318 to 888 kilograms in weight, and 12 to 23 feet, or 3.65 to 7 meters in length. The Pacific sleeper shark is one of the largest extant macropredatory fish on Earth. Very little is known about the early life of Pacific sleeper sharks, and they are believed to produce eggs that hatch inside the female's body, being ovoviviparous. But gestation time is unknown. Litter sizes are thought to be around 10 pups. Under ideal conditions, a Pacific sleeper shark may live upwards of 200 years. Next up is Mobula mobular, better known as the devilfish or giant devil ray. It is an endangered species of ray in the family Mobulidae, which is endemic to the tropical and temperate waters throughout much of the world's oceans, and are particularly abundant in the Mediterranean and Adriatic seas, the Gulf of Mexico, the Gulf of California, the Gulf of Guinea, the Arabian Sea, the Bay of Bengal, the Coral Sea, the East China Sea, the Panama Basin, and the Sea of Japan. Here they live in small schools of up to 18 rays, spending much of their time near the surface and occasionally diving down to 2,300 feet or 700 meters to escape threats and search for food, such as plankton, krill, and small mesopelagic and cublid fish, which are funneled into the devil ray's mouth via its cephalic flaps. When these flaps are rolled up, they look like horns, giving the animal the devil-like silhouette. Reaching up to 11 feet or 3.5 meters in disc length, the devilfish is the third largest species in the genus Mobula after the oceanic and reef manta rays. It is also the only devil ray to have an exposed tail spine. This epipelagic species has a very low reproductive rate, only breeding once every few years, to one or rarely two offspring at a time. The species is ovoviviparous, with the young hatching from eggs inside their mother's body and emerging later when they are more fully grown. Under ideal conditions, the devilfish may live upwards of 20 years. Next up is Stegostoma tigrinum, better known as the zebra shark or spotted leopard shark. It is a species of carpet shark and the sole member of the family Stegostomatidae, which is native throughout the tropical waters of the Indian and Pacific Oceans, where it frequents coral reefs, sandy flats, and seamounts to a depth of 62 meters or 200 feet. During the day, zebra sharks are often fairly sluggish and spend most of their time lounging around reefs, rocks, or the ocean floor. At night, however, they can become active, strong, and agile swimmers, propelling themselves with pronounced anguilliform of the body and tail. As they search for prey in the form of crustaceans, mollusks, smaller fish, and sea snakes, zebra sharks are themselves preyed upon by larger sharks, bony fish, and marine mammals. Reaching up to 8.2 feet or 2.5 meters in length, the zebra shark has a cylindrical body with a large, slightly flattened head and snout, and a short, blunt snout. The eyes are small and placed on the sides of the head. The sphericals are located behind them, are as large or larger. The last three of the five short gill slits are situated over the pectoral fin bases, and the fourth and fifth slits are much closer together than the others. There are five distinct ridges running along the body in adults, one along the dorsal midline and two along the sides. The dorsal midline ridge merges with the first dorsal fin, placed about halfway along the body and which is twice the size of the second dorsal fin. Its pectoral fins are large and broad, and the pelvic fins and anal fins are much smaller but larger than the second dorsal fin. The caudal fin is almost as long as the rest of the body. The color pattern in young sharks is dark brown above and light yellow below, with vertical yellow stripes and spots. As the shark grows to 50 to 90 centimeters or 20 to 35 inches long, the dark areas begin to break up, changing in general pattern from light on dark stripes to dark on light spots. There is substantial variation in patterns amongst adults, which can be used to identify particular individuals. Breeding occurs year-round, and zebra sharks are known to reproduce asexually via parthenogenesis. The zebra shark is oviparous, with females laying up to 46 eggs over a 112-day period. The eggs hatch after 4 to 6 months, and depending on the temperature, and under ideal conditions, a zebra shark may live upwards of 30 years. Next up is Glyphis gangeticus, better known as the Ganges river shark. It is a critically endangered species of requiem shark found in the Ganges River or Padma River and the Brahmaputra River of India and Bangladesh. Additionally, recent genetic studies have shown that the Borneo river shark, G. fulleri, and the Irrawaddy river shark, or G. siamensis, to be subspecies or populations of the same species as the Ganges shark, expanding their range uh, of the species to Pakistan, Myanmar, Borneo, and Java. Here, the Ganges shark inhabits freshwater rivers and lakes, as well as wetlands, estuaries, deltas, mangrove forests, and shallow coastal waters. Their feeding habits are not well studied, but they are known to be fish eaters and regular predators of stingrays. With such limited visibility, typical of many tropical rivers and estuaries, they rely heavily on their other senses, such as hearing, smell, and electroreception. Reaching some 30 to 80 inches or 76 to 204 centimeters in length, the Ganges shark is a typical requiem shark in its external appearance. It is stocky with two spineless dorsal fins and an anal fin. Its pectoral fins are broad, and the second dorsal fin is relatively large, but much smaller than the first. And the anal fin is slightly smaller than the second dorsal fin. A longitudinal, longitudinal, I don't know how to say that word, upper precaudal pit is seen, but no interdorsal ridge. It is uniformly gray to brownish in color with no discernible markings. Its snout is broadly rounded and much shorter in width than the width of its mouth. The mouth is long, broad, and extends back up towards the eyes. It is a viparous species, but the litter size and gestation period are unknown. Next up is Calorhynchus milli, better known as the Australian ghost shark, elephant shark, Mako white fish, Cloud-nosed chimera or elephant fish is a species of chimera belonging to the subclass Halocephali, which is endemic to the waters surrounding Tasmania, southern Australia, and New Zealand, up to 656 feet or 200 meters in depth. These chimeras spend much of their time along the ocean floor, using their hoe-shaped snouts to probe the bottom for invertebrates and small fishes. Reaching up to 4.9 feet or 1.5 meters in length, the Australian ghost shark has an elongated body, which is smooth and torpedo-shaped, with two widely separated triangular dorsal fins. This fish has three cone pigments for color. Its dorsal fin is very sharp and mildly venomous, has a very sharp, mildly venomous spine. The Australian ghost shark is silvery in color with iridescent reflections and dark, variable markings on the side. Breeding occurs from late spring to early autumn, during which time adults migrate inshore to estuaries and bays, where the females lay their eggs on sandy or muddy substrates. The eggs are contained in large yellow capsules. After a few months, the eggs case partially opens, enabling seawater to flow into the egg. Juveniles emerge from the capsule after 6 to 8 months at around 12 inches or not 12 centimeters or 4.7 inches in length. Under ideal conditions, an Australian ghost shark may live upwards of 15 years. Oxynotus centrina, better known as the angular rough shark, is an endangered species of rough shark in the family Oxynotidae, which is typically found on the outer continental shelves and upper slopes of the eastern Atlantic, ranging from Norway to South Africa and throughout the entire Mediterranean Sea, with additional occurrences reported off the coast of Mozambique. Here they tend to live at depths of 160 to 2,170 feet or 50 to 660 meters, but they can occasionally be found near the surface and up to 4,300 or 1,300 feet in depth. They feed primarily upon worms, crustaceans, and mollusks, and reaching 2.6 to 4.9 feet or zero point 0.8 to 1.5 meters in length. The angular rough shark has a compressed body, triangular in cross section, with a broad, flattened head. The snout is flat and blunt, just like all of the Oxynotus species. They have two relatively large dorsal fins that are sail-like and no anal fin. It has very rough skin and is typically a uniform black to dark gray brown in coloration. Adults generally display darker coloration, often featuring darker blotches on the heads and sides, though these blotches can sometimes be indistinct. Additionally, leucistic individuals are known. One identifying feature is the light horizontal line just below the eyes on the cheek. Being an ovoviviparous species, the Angler rough shark produces a litter of 7 to 23 pups that are born at 8.26 or 9.45 inches or 21 to 24 centimeters in length. Under ideal conditions, an angular rough shark will reach maturity around 20 inches or 50 centimeters in length and may live upwards of 25 years. And our extinct shark of the week is Cretoxyrhina. Also known as the Ginsu shark, it is an extinct genus of large mackerel shark that lived around 107 to 73 million years ago during the late Albian to late Campanian of the late Cretaceous period. Cretoxyrhina was first described by the English paleontologist Gideon Mantell from 8 teeth he collected in the Southernham Grey Pit near Lewes, East Sussex. In his 1822 book, The Fossils of the South Downs, co-written by his partner Mary Ann Mantell, he identified them as teeth pertaining to two species of locally known modern sharks, the common smoothhound and the smooth hammerhead. In the third volume of his book, Recherches sur les poisons fossiles, published in 1843, Swiss naturalist Louis Agassiz re-examined Mantel's 8 teeth. Using them and another tooth he collected from the Strasbourg Museum, he concluded that the fossils actually pertain to a single species of extinct shark that held strong dental similarities with the now invalid genus Oxyrhina. Thus, Agassiz placed the species in the genus Oxyrhina under the taxon Oxyrhina mantelii. During the late 19th century, paleontologists would describe numerous species that are now synonymized with Cretoxyrhina mantelii. In 1873, American paleontologist Joseph Leidy identified teeth from Kansas and Mississippi, describing them under the species name Oxyrhina extinta. In 1890, a skeleton was discovered in Kansas by Charles H. Sternberg. Using said skeleton, Charles R. Essman uh, identified the many extinct shark species found that their fossils were actually different tooth types of O. mantelii, which he all moved into the species. This skeleton, which Sternberg had sold to the Ludwig Maximilian University of Munich, was destroyed in 1944 by an Allied bombing during World War II. In 1891, Sternberg's son, George F. Sternberg, discovered a second O. mantelii skeleton, now housed at the University of Kansas Museum of Natural History. In 1958, Soviet paleontologist Leonid Glickman found that the dental design of O. mantelii, reconstructed by Eastman, made it indistinctive, warranting a new genus, Cretoxyrhina. Today, 4 species, C. mantelii, C. denticulata, C. varconensis, and C. agassiensis, are considered valid. Cretoxyrhina has a portmanteau of the word Creto, short for Cretaceous, prefixed in the genus Oxyrhina, which is derived from ancient Greek oxus, meaning sharp, and ris, meaning nose. When put together, they mean Cretaceous sharp nose. Although Cretoxyrhina is believed to have had a rather blunt snout, reaching upwards of 26 feet or 8 meters in length, and weighing upwards of 10,900 pounds or 4,944 kilograms, Cretoxyrhina was one of the largest sharks of its time, having a similar appearance and build to modern great white sharks. Its up to 3.1 inch or 8 centimeter long teeth were razor like and had thick enamel built for stabbing and slicing their prey. Cretoxyrhina was also amongst the fastest swimming sharks, with hydrodynamic calculations suggesting a burst speed of up to 70 kilometers an hour or 43 miles per hour. It was an apex predator in its ecosystem and preyed upon a large variety of marine animals, including mosasaurs, plesiosaurs, sharks, and other large fish, pterosaurs, and occasionally dinosaurs. It has also been speculated that Cretoxyrhina hunted by lunging at its prey at high speeds to inflict powerful blows, similar to modern great whites today, and relied on its strong eyesight to do so. As always, take care of my guys, gals, and my binary pals. Hope you have a wonderful day and a wonderful shark week.